Welcome back to Chronic Pain Journey with Susie Wolf. I'm Susie Wolf. Since the last 3 weeks or so, or at least the month of March, has been pretty much dentures, and all dentures, I kind of slid over something important that happened with my pain pump that I really want to be more specific about, especially for those of you that have pain pumps or are thinking of getting them. So, that's what we're going to talk about today. Please give us a like and subscribe to this channel and stick around. Back on Tuesday the 26th, I was sitting watching TV, and I got another one of those little surprises that they never seem to warn you about. I touched on it a little bit when we talked about the metaphor of the spoon. If you missed that or haven't read it, go back and check it out, because the essay is very powerful. But I kind of skimmed over the fact that I had a pain flare-up, and that it was because I had overextended myself shopping the weekend before. And I want to give it a little more detail. So it was Tuesday night, like I said, on the 26th, and it was around 6:40, somewhere in there, and I started to feel some pain in my abdomen, my old belly pain, and within, I'd say, 5 minutes, I was bouncing back and forth between a 9 and a 10, crying my eyes out. I was doubled over. I was in so much pain. It was like I had never treated it before. And my mind instantly went to the most horrible places. I instantly thought that my catheter had slipped out and I wasn't getting medication anymore. And I kept thinking of all the ways the pain pump could have failed. And I decided not to do anything about it until 7 o'clock. Because at 7 o'clock I was supposed to get, around 7:15, because at 7 o'clock I was supposed to get a bolus dose. And if this bolus dose hadn't given me relief by 7:15, I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but I had to do something. I could not just sit there in that much pain. I was in agony. And my house guest, Jennifer, was doing everything she could to make me feel better. She did get rid of my headache with some acupressure, but the headache was bad, but it was not the main point of contention. So I ended up giving it till 7:30 because I am petrified of going to the emergency room. I am absolutely terrified of emergency rooms, and I will do whatever it takes to not have to go to one. They don't consider, when they're triaging you, they don't consider massive pain a problem. So you usually end up sitting and waiting for a very long time. When you go in and you have massive pain, but you don't know why, and you can't give your ER doctor a diagnosis or a problem, then they tend to label you a drug seeker and treat you like crap the rest of the time you're there. I know things are different now. I have a pain pump, I have a diagnosis, I have a pain doctor. I know things would be slightly different now, but I still have nightmare about the way I've been treated in emergency rooms. I've even been banned from an emergency room. So I just was scared to death. But at 7:30, I finally broke down and called my mom and told her what was going on, and that I needed to do something. I needed help. So she came over and called my pain doctor, and he called back really quick. He's amazing. And he said, there's no way the catheter came out. Everything should be fine. You go, you just need to do what you need to do to make it through the night. Knock yourself out, do whatever you got to do, and call the office first thing in the morning and find out when you can come in. And so that's what I did. I had muscle relaxers and I had anxiety medication, and I literally just knocked myself out. That worked until about 3:30 in the morning, and then I don't know if the medication I took wore off or if the pain got worse. I'm not really sure, but I woke up at 3:30 in the morning with just as much pain, if not more, than I had earlier. Luckily, Jennifer was still up and was still able to help try and keep me calm, and together we kind of talked about it for a second, and I just basically decided to knock myself out again. And the meds must have wore off and weren't doing the job anymore, and I took the same dose I took that knocked me out the first time, and I was back to sleep. We had plans for my mom to come over at 8:30 in the morning because the doctor's office opened at 9. I woke up at 8:30 when she got here and was in pain, but nowhere near the pain I was in the night before. The flare-up had calmed down a lot, and I was probably more at like a 4 or a 5. Now, these days I'm used to being at a 0, so it was still kind of scary, but at least I wasn't doubled over anymore. I was at a pain level I was used to handling. So 6 months ago, this was normal for me, if not worse, because I was tapering off and all that good stuff. So it really wasn't too hard to deal with. I took some ibuprofen and a very small dose of muscle relaxer. And when we reached the office, they couldn't get us in until 11, but like I said, I wasn't doubled over anymore, so that didn't really bother me that much. My mom said she would stick around and I could go back to sleep, so I did. And she woke me up in time to go to the appointment, and I went in. And normally when we go to an appointment there, we get right in. But since they worked us in, we did end up sitting in the waiting room for a while. But again, it still was less than 30 minutes. And like I said, I wasn't doubled over anymore. So it wasn't really the end of the world. The car ride didn't even make it worse, which was a good sign. So we finally get in to see the nurse practitioner, who is not Missy, who I've talked about before, and I haven't asked her for permission to use her name, so I'm just going to call her the nurse practitioner. But she checked the machine, and there weren't no malfunctions, no anything. And, she said, tell me what you've been doing the last couple weeks. And I told her, and she said, okay, that's a very big increase in activity for you. She goes, especially the night you went shopping. That's quite a huge increase in activity for you. She goes, and as you adjust to life with this pain pump, you'll get to feeling better, and you will increase your activity, and then your pain will come back. And then we will raise your dose, and then she goes, until you get to your full active status, this is normal procedure. Now, at that point, I felt two things. One was relief. because it wasn't anything wrong with the pump. The computer was reading 0 malfunction and everything was fine. So I did feel relieved, and she was going to raise the dose, so this was going to go away and everything was great. There was a part of me that did feel a little bit of anger because this was one more thing that they did not warn me about. And had I known that this back and forth between activity and raising your meds and stuff like that was going to happen, the night that I had the bad flare-up probably wouldn't have been as bad, because half of my problem, if not more than half, but at least half of my problem was sheer panic. Because all I could think about all night long was her looking at my pump when I got into the office, calling Dr. Riker and saying she needs to be in surgery in the next 2 hours. Her pump is loose. Her catheter's out. Her, the computer inside her pump has stopped working. Whatever the case may be, all I could see was them rushing me in surgery and to fix the problem. So half the reason that I was so uptight and so panicked and my anxiety was going through the roof during that flare-up was because I was scared to death. I was facing a 3rd surgery with this pump. So there's a lot of things that I don't think it's that they forget to tell you. I don't think they understand. And this is not them being mean or, inconsiderate. I just don't think they understand what a big deal they are to the person who has the pain pump. They don't realize that when that pain comes after increased activity, all the horrible worst case scenarios that are going to go through your head, all the way to, we're sorry, we really thought this pain pump was going to work for you, but it's not. I mean, I had all the worst case scenarios running through my mind, and as I've told you, I already have an issue with anxiety that for which I'm medicated, and this just sent that to its highest level it's been at in a long time. So she increased my dose, and within a half hour, probably by the time we were home with the car drive from Oman and Council Bluffs where I live, my pain was back to 0 and taken care of. And I was still walking the line between completely relieved and then a little bit angry. And I wasn't even sure who to be angry with, because, Missy's not there anymore. Dr. Riker doesn't have that much to do with the patients usually. He pretty much just does the procedures, and I haven't seen the pain pump lady since my appointment where they turned it on. So I don't know who I was really angry with. I just know that I was sitting there wondering, how many more surprises do I have in front of me? What's going to happen next? And while they had taken care of the pain, my anxiety was still pretty high. Luckily, I have ways to treat that, so that wasn't that big a deal. Because I had another appointment that afternoon, so I had to pull it together. So I hope that better explains what I kind of skipped over in the metaphor of the spoons. I maybe mentioned in another video, I don't know. But I hope that explains further about the flare-up and helps you understand one more surprise that you don't get to know until you experience it. Thank you so much for your time and for joining me. And just one last reminder, please, please, please like this video. And this week, we are, or I am, or however you want to say it, we're up to 80 subscribers. That is only 20 away from my goal of 100. So please hit that subscribe button and join our little community here. And please comment below, especially if you have or are getting a pain pump. But regardless of what your reason, I'm open to any questions about pain, about anxiety, about chronic illness, anything you want to know, I'm open. Or anything you want to share with me, I'm open. Anything you think I can do better, I'm open. So please comment below and let me know how you feel. Again, thank you. I'm Susie Wolf, and I will see you next week.